we going to do the whole living situation? So we had all these question marks, but there was a part of us that wanted to say yes. So we talked that morning of and that prior, where we were just like, if we say yes, then we're doing the leap of faith and we're happy with that. If we say no, then we're still going to be together and we're also going to be happy with that. So regardless of the outcome, we were going to be together.
But so are you not allowed to confirm with each other before the altar? Do you have to kind of say, like, if we say yes, we say no, but you can't actually give them a definite answer?
I don't think you
probably weren't supposed to talk.
Maybe we weren't supposed to. I don't know. But I don't know. I think that because Alexa and Brennan I think they even confirmed, like I watched their podcast yesterday, that they said every day that they were going to say yes. They confirmed that they were going to say yes to each other. I don't know if, I don't know what if you can say that or not, but we talked regardless and we were like, okay, we're like, if you say no, then that's okay. If I say no, that's okay as well.
Okay. And was there whose wedding were you most shocked by? Did you know that Zanab was going to do that?
No, we were all I would say Alexa and Brennan was the only wedding that we were like, yeah, that makes sense. SK and Raven, we had no idea what was going to happen. Zanab and Cole, no idea what was going to happen. We knew that we had a feeling that they weren't going to get married. Obviously, they were not compatible, but we didn't. And Nancy and Bartise, we also had a feeling that they weren't going to get married, but we didn't know who was going to say no. We didn't know if it was going to be dramatic. So we had honestly no clue about any of the weddings, except Alexa and Brennan.
Okay.
That was given.
Yeah, I think that was the one that didn't shock any of us lot either.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about the weddings and the marriage, people in the comments want to know where your wedding ring is.
Oh, it's in my... Do you want me to go get it? I'm getting ready for it.
No, I'm kidding. You don't have to.
It's over there. I just haven't... I also don't like rings on my fingers. I wear 3 rings. I wear 2 rings that my mom gave me and then my wedding ring. And even that I need to remind myself. I don't like stuff on my hands. That makes sense. So when I'm getting ready for I'm like, let me just be naked for a second,
Yeah, I guess also when you're doing ballet and you have the bar and stuff, and you're putting your hands on the bar.
Yeah. I'm today I'm partnering. We're getting ready for Nutcracker, so that's always hard to have. You don't want to hit your partner's face or anything. So yeah, you want to be as clean as possible.
See, guys, nothing untoward about the ring. It's just on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the reunion and then we can wrap up. Mm-hmm. You had already addressed, people are saying that you felt uncomfortable, you looked uncomfortable at the reunion. You have already addressed this. What you actually said was, going into the reunion, I was not in a good headspace as I was dealing with a lot of anxiety due to the negative commentary I had endured during the first few episodes. While I knew what I had signed up for, at that point I was not prepared for the gravity of strangers critiquing my profession that I'm incredibly proud of, my character, and tearing down my body physical traits.
Yeah.
How is your headspace now?
I'm so much better. Thank you. I just it was the first couple of episodes where I was seeing these comments. I'm literally, I know this is going to sound cringe to say, but I am the nicest person you'll ever meet. And to see people say these such harsh things about me and just awful, it really got to me. I was crying constantly at dance, at work. I was just not in a good headspace, like I said. And the comments that really got to me were also, I know that I shouldn't give it light, but it just stung. Oh, she's too fat to be a ballet dancer, and just going in on my weight. And, it just baffled me that all these people want body positivity and everything, but those are the same people that were tearing down my body. It was just really disgusting to see. And you can't build thick skin in a day. I didn't have thick skin, but now I'm actually really surprised with myself. I keep my comments on, but I don't look at the comments. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, but in different sentences. So, I could do much better with my time. So yeah, I'm much better, but during the reunion, I felt like I couldn't talk. Like I felt like anything that I said, I would be criticized for. I cry a lot. That's just my go-to emotion. And I felt like I couldn't cry. So when you see me like holding in tears, I'm thinking of the comments saying, "Oh, here we go again with tears." I didn't want to cry. So during that entire filming of the reunion, I'm cutting off Matt's circulation. I'm holding onto his hand so tight so that I don't like have a panic attack on camera. So yeah, it was crazy what people were saying that it was because of him, but he honestly helped me just not break down because those comments are just ruthless. But now I'm much better.
So how is he dealing with the backlash? Because, I mean, oh, hold on 1 minute. That's my app telling me that I should get off TikTok. How is he responding to the backlash? Because we will talk about, I guess the elephant in the room is that people are like, oh, Colleen is in an abusive relationship, like Matt is an abuser.
So the first day that he started getting backlash was on my birthday. And, he was such an angel, honestly. I could see like he was getting scared, and he was like, being called those things is one of the worst things that you can call someone. And especially like for your reputation, like thousands of people saying that about you, he tried his best to not let this affect my birthday. So I just remember we went to dinner and he was just like, I could tell something was wrong, but he didn't want to talk about it. Like he was like, we're fine. Let's celebrate you. And he just wanted, also I was still dealing with a lot of the negative stuff, and he was trying to make me feel okay and help me out. So in the first, like I would say week when he got the backlash, he was holding it in, and I would tell him like, it's okay, let's talk about this stuff. And we've had several conversations. It's just absurd what people will jump to a few scenes that really don't provide that much, kind of what I said earlier, don't provide that much context. There's so much more that is happening. And there were a lot of factors that were also happening when we were filming, going back to your schedule of work, meeting family and friends in such a condensed time. Are we getting married? You have this new fiance. He was dealing with a work stress at the time. So it was just like a lot of these other outside factors, and he wanted everything to be perfect. And a lot of on top of those insecurities that he still had from his past that I don't think he knew were still there. So he was just dealing with a lot. And we're well past all of that. Like as soon as the cameras left, it was like a weight was lifted off of our shoulders. And it's crazy. He's one of the calmest people that I know. The first thing that comes out of his mouth now, if we ever come into any sort of disagreement, he's like, how do we compromise on this? Like, he's very much like, doesn't want conflict, doesn't want any of that. So yeah, it's really sad to see what people are saying. And I'm his number one cheerleader. I'm his supporter. So I'll kick someone's ass if they start talking shit about him. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, my balls have really grown. So everyone just needs to just kindly fuck off. I'm gonna go crazy on them. But yeah, it's really sad. But he's doing much better compared to like the first couple weeks from backlash.
Okay, that's good to hear. I guess like you guys are just, the comments are not even affecting you guys anymore, right?
No, I'm really surprised because I do let that stuff get to me, obviously. Like the reunion is a clear example of it. But no, we're fine. We're keeping ourselves busy with work and our family and our friends. My friend group is and my family. They're going in the comments. You'll see Mama Reed going at people who are talking smack about Matt. So we're just surrounding ourselves around family and friends and work to move on from these comments. And at the end of the day, it's just strangers that don't know us. And you can't, as soon as people's opinions are formed, you can't change them. So, it's a losing battle.
Because I think maybe one reason, like why, oh, cute, bye.
I'm allowed. Promise.
Have a good day.
All right, bye.
I was just going to say, I think one of the reasons why maybe people felt the need to comment or felt like they didn't have like maybe closure on your situation was just because we saw Cole taking heat at the reunion. Bartise, I mean, I've heard that Bartise did get grilled, but we didn't see it. What we saw was just a very light grilling, whereas I felt like not really to say that like it's other people's positions to speak up on it, but none of the girls had really said like, oh, but the things that Matt was doing was out of line as well. I guess perhaps because you guys were still together.
I after the reunion was done, and then I saw those comments, I was like, wait, we didn't talk about this. And I wish that we would have been given the chance to talk. And I kind of say it in some of the articles that have come out. I wish that we would have been asked and talked about it. And I keep going back to saying, oh, we're well past it. It was a year and a half ago. Like, I'm telling you, when I watched the rest of the season and then we talked about it at the reunion, I didn't even think about him yelling, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's in the past. I was so concerned. I was being a little selfish. I was so concerned about me and the whole pool scene that I didn't even think about the whole fallouts afterwards. But then I saw the reaction to everything, and I'm like, well, we should have provided more context. We should have talked about it. He said a few times that he's come out and said that he would have handled those situations differently. And I would have liked, for the cast to talk about their opinion on it. So yeah, I do wish that we would have been given the chance. We're not shy about talking about it. Like, we want to talk about it. We want to clear the air. And, I'm a firm believer that, especially on a public platform, when there's so much conversation happening and you just don't talk about it, it's not going to go away. More questions are going to come up. So it's better to talk about it. And, so I wish that we would have been given the chance.
Okay. And I guess that's kind of out of your control, you can't. You're just sitting at the reunion like, by the way, Vanessa, I'm going to stop you right there. We would like to talk about Matt's issues.
I would have, but the producers don't tell us what to talk about. They don't guide us or anything. All of those conversations are very real and come from us. And like I was saying, I guess I was just being a little bit selfish and mainly concerned about myself than with that whole all those fights and his reaction. But if I could do the reunion differently, I would bring it up myself for sure.
And did you feel sorry for Cole when Cole was crying?
I mean, he's crying, so, I don't have a black heart. Of course, I feel sorry for him, and I also understand that pain. Why do I look like...
Have you not seen this on TikTok before? Like, the people who are in and send you like animated hats and things?
No. That's funny. What was I saying? Oh, so I understood what Cole was going through because I was experiencing some of those comments. And I think that, him crying those comments were a part of it. But, he also, I do feel that he felt sorry for how Zena was feeling due to him. So I did feel like sad for him, but honestly, like I'm telling you, like I was not focused on any of that. Like, I was focused on myself and not having a panic attack. So, yeah, I felt bad for him, but yeah,
deserved.
not deserved, but I think that all of this would have been a lot. I think all this would have been resolved if they would have apologized and talked, or if he would have apologized and talked right after the
Mm.
wedding. Like, you know, it would have been like because Bartise and Nancy, maybe that's why they stayed cordial like right after the wedding, and I'm pretty sure that Bartise apologized to her. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but maybe that's why they're like cool, and Zenab and Cole were not, because they literally didn't say anything to each other after the wedding. That was the first time they've talked.
Sure, but in fairness, Bartiz was the one that let Nancy down at the altar, so Bartiz needed to apologize.
Oh,
I kind of feel like if Cole if Zenab had said that to Cole at the altar, if somebody had said that to me at the altar, I mean they obviously wouldn't because I wouldn't treat them that way in the first place.
hmm.
But I totally understand why he wouldn't want to reach out to her. Like she's just humiliated him, and I get that obviously he had humiliated her before that, but
Hmm.
then for her to have done it back to him, she obviously like it's over. So I don't know. I can see why he didn't reach out.
Yeah,
Saying
it's for sure tricky because then you also have that she is telling this person why she feels that way and why she's saying no, but then you're at the altar. So it's definitely a tricky situation that, you know, they're just not ever going to be friends. Obviously, they weren't compatible. It's just two people that need to go completely in their own direction.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and just before we go, just because I've asked everybody else and the reunion made such a big deal about this, we're going to just talk briefly about the cutie scene.
Mhm.
What was like your sound off on that?
Um, so when I first saw the cutie scene, I I don't know, like my gut reaction was like, oh, there it is. Um, kind of because when you get when someone is constantly saying these comments to you, obviously you're going to pick apart situations that might not be a big deal, but a big deal to you. And I think that we all, as a public, kind of forgot about uh, the the ranking, even though she asked. I haven't watched it, so I don't know if she asked or he asked. Regardless, he still said that she was a 9 out of 10, and two other women were 10 out of 10s. Um, he the Lily and Zenib comment, um,
Mm.
him coming up to me, like he still said things on camera and off that obviously get to you. And um, for me personally, if someone was constantly saying those things, I would pick apart situations. So I think that the cutie scene, you know, might not have been a big deal, or is not a big deal to the public, but to her, when she's hearing, when she is just hearing just one little comment about what she's eating, she's like, ugh, you know, and I think that just really stuck out to her in her memory and her mind. Um, it's unfortunate what people are saying about her, and like the gravity, like how many people are saying stuff about her. So it's really sad. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I can really say about that is you know, and I know people don't like to hear it, and I'm sorry, but then talk about something else then. Um, I'm telling you, I've been such a bitch now to the public, but uh, yeah, it was
Do it.
yeah, it was not a big deal, I think, to the public, but to her it was a big deal. So yeah.
So just quickly, do you talking about these other things that Cole had said, things that you had heard, can you tell us like some of the things that you had heard him say that we didn't see?
Um, I've heard that, again, this is not me trying to drag him or anything. I just heard that he said she was the biggest girl he's ever been with. Um, and then that's pretty much like the other comment that I heard. I'm trying to remember. I just remember that he was always making her feel insecure for her weight and for her ethnicity, like his family not meeting her and like refusing to even FaceTime. Like obviously that gets to someone. So that was the only
Do
really
you,
that I knew of. Sorry.
do you think his family didn't meet her because her name was Zenab?
Um, I don't know. I don't want to put people's I don't want to talk I don't know. From my own perspective, I think that there was a lot going on because my family didn't want to be a part of the show. Like they did not want to be on camera. They didn't want to uh, do any of that. Like that's why my mom's not at the wedding dress shopping. Like she didn't want to be on camera. But we talked on the phone several times with Matt. Like they still wanted to like this is what I decided to do. I signed up for this and now I'm in love with someone, so they're going to support me. So I don't know if it's
Yeah.
a different dynamic in that in his family. I don't know if I'm, I don't want to say, oh, it's because of her name's being Zenab. So I honestly don't know why they refused to meet her, but it doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't. I mean, and also the fact that they were stalking her Instagram,
Yeah.
but wouldn't meet her.
But there's also a chance of, oh, are they just? Because I think he talked about it with her, like if they just don't support what he's doing in general. But that's kind of like messed up as well. So, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
So the comment, what he said about her being the biggest girl that he dated, was that something that you heard him say, or did
Oh, sorry.
Zenab tell you that?
I didn't see that, but I heard not just from Zenab, but from around the rumor mill that was said to her, not from the cast.
Okay. Okay, from like camera people, production.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I love it when you guys get nervous because I can see you being like, am I allowed to say this? Am I gonna? Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking with me. Like, I've had such a lull, like speaking to all of you guys this week. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you for talking with me.